Godot, Godot, Godot. Godot. Did I say that 3.1 times? That's right. We're going to be talking about Godot. We're talking about some really cool Godot news, like some tutorials you miss as the tutorials are kind of scattered all over the place, okay? The other thing we're going to be talking about is 2 of the Godot game jams that you might want to join. This is going to be really cool. So that's what we're talking about. That's the value preposition. It's Godot, Godot, Godot 3.1. I hope I said it 3.1 times. I am Zon, the Daddy Dev. I also go by the moniker Title Pending on the internet, and welcome to a regular devlog about developing games with Godot. That's right. I don't know what the title of this is going to be. This is not a Rakugo devlog. I'll be doing one of those later. This is more just about developing with Godot and my journey onto developing with Godot. Okay, first off the bat, the good news right here, FBX support in Godot. Yes, that's right. FBX support means we can now get assets from the Unity store, assets from the Unreal store. I have to check on Unreal, but I believe it's there. Assets anywhere that 3D artists, 3D content creators make game assets that are FBX. FBX support is coming to Godot. Now, interestingly enough, it's here, but it's not officially a part of Godot yet, but it's looking good. This has been submitted to Juan and the official team. They're going to look over the documentation and the implementation of this from the GitHub, and they're apparently considering actually taking this and making this a part of the official project. Whew, puts the stuff we're doing with Rakugo a little bit to shame. But still, this is all good. This is amazing. Now, what does this mean for developers? This means we can asset flip. That's right. You can go down to your game store of choice for 3-dimensional assets like the Unity store. Grab yourself your own Unity assets and then flip them if you are making like a asset flip game in Unity for the Steam store. I'm joking. I'm kidding. If you do buy these assets and you use them, try to do them creatively. Make sure that you use these assets in a way that doesn't look like it's a copy and paste game, but a game that actually took some thought and some work for you to make things that you're using to speed up your development process and make them in a unique game experience. That's how you get Jim Sterling approved. Seriously, Jim Sterling, I'm paraphrasing him. He did a whole video on this. I did a video on this about how to use assets that are pre-bought or pre-made in a way that's creative. That's what you really want to go for, because no one wants to play the same game. No one wants to play the same game unless, you know, it's like the same gameplay but a little different. Okay, moving on. The game jams you really want to consider, Godot Wild Jam is amazing. The Godot Wild Jam, I think it just started last year. It's really blown up. The Godot Wild Jam is supported by the official Godot team. Huzzah. And the reason why it's supported by the official Godot team is they actually have a connection with the branch related to the GitHub. And so if you're not familiar with that, they recommend that you, by doing this game jam, you use the main branch of Godot 3.1, and any issues or problems you find making your game, you open up a comment, and once you open up that comment, it fixes it. Or someone will hopefully find a way to fix it, and once they do, it makes the engine better for everyone. That's one of the reasons why the official development team loves these guys. Now, the other thing is why I love them and why I'm starting to do these game jams again, getting back into the groove, is that they're every month, and they're 2 weeks long every month, and it is really a good way to get your skills up in Godot. Whether you suck or not, if you make a game every month in the engine, you will get better. You'll get closer to being able to get the scope and range of a real game that you want to make. And it's a lot of fun. I would join the Discord. I'll put a link below. They're a great community. I strongly recommend you join them. A new community has arisen, and this community is Godot 3.1 Stable Release Party Jam. I don't know if they'll be doing this every month. They're new. But I do like the fact that they are pushing for 3D only. Now, why is that such big news? Is because I am afraid. I am terrified. I am petrified of 3D. I am. Kinda. I'm getting less scared because I'm working with it a little bit more. And so for this, I would say just release like a bunch of cubes moving around. It doesn't have to be very complicated, just something that is very simple in 3D. And that's what these guys are kind of pushing, which is really, really cool and they're new. Now, the thing is that I will talk a little bit about this, but before I do, let's compare jams. This jam is great because you can take assets from prior games that you've made and you can use them in the next game jam. So ideally, you could take your game jam game and keep reusing those assets that you've made or used to the point that you make more polished games. That's beautiful. I love games that force you to start from scratch, but I also really appreciate and actually really like game jams that you can use pre-made assets you've made from prior games or code snippets and use those during the game jam. I'm a huge fan of that because that just makes more sense to me. Now, I'm hoping that's the case here with the Godot Stable Release Party Jam 3D only, because I'm going to be talking about how we are going to make a horror space game or space alone game, whatever, but we're going to be using prior assets, the team that I'm working on. And since I'm posting this video in their Discord and they watch past 3 minutes, they will know what I'm doing, so hopefully no one flags me for what I'm doing. Okay, anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is, again, if you're not familiar with Rakugo, I don't know, Rakugo. The idea of Rakugo is simple, was to create a bunch of templates and or having some custom code to relate to story mechanics. You know, having these templates and these custom code so that people can make story-driven games with story mechanics a lot faster. Like if they really did want to make a Witcher, they would have the plugin and the tools to make it right off the bat. Or better, if they were a novice developer who didn't know how to program very well, a lot of this stuff would make programming a lot easier. Where the heck is it? I've gone too far. I've gone too far once again. So given that, I was working on a phone template. And that's what I've been doing the last like 2 weeks between taxes, life, being a dad, being a dev, ignoring this messy office that I have to clean. So it is what it is. Now, the thing is I'm trying to find the templates that I was working on. There we go. The first template was the phone game simulator. I've gotten farther on that. In fact, we're figuring out ways to add music where the player could put their own music into the game. It's really a lot of cool stuff. But I was also planning to make a walker shooter, and I was also planning to return to the space game idea in some fashion or form. I was thinking about starting this from scratch, but you know, these 2 game templates here are 3D. Now, given that, I think I could do a 3D game for this game jam and still work on one of the templates. I've got 2 options here. The Godot Jammers, a group I started. I don't do enough on this. Okay, basically we were in dev hell for like almost a year. It's like been 8 months maybe of dev hell, and it's not been good. Maybe 6 months of dev hell. We've just had our lives get in the way of building a relatively simple game. Is there feature creep? Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff there. So since we are space and we could relate it to one of the topics here, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take maybe one of the simple features and finish it and do our best to finish it and just put it out there. If it's crap, forgive it, but at least it should be workable crap. That is the goal. That is the goal. And that one, then we could take that and make that as one of the templates for the Rakugo project. That's the idea, throwing it out there. And I'm looking at that. Now, that's probably going to more than likely happen because one of the other developers on this dev hell ride that I've been on is actually interested in working on this again. Thus is expired. Sorry. Okay. So I've got to work on this again. Okay. All right. So that's probably what's going to happen. It was either that or the Walker Simulator, which I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. And I'm really excited about this. So there's a lot. I have to download this thing. I have to check it out. I want to do more of the coding or fine tuning it. Our Plopsis, who was working on this, you probably don't know him if you're new to the channel. He was the main programmer. And one of the things I do want to get better at is programming. I think that's going to have to be my year goal with Godot, is going to be programming. So there you go. This has been the vlog. You now know about, 2 really good game jams that are going on out there. You know about FXB support, which is really cool. And there's also, I don't know if see if he gave me a like back. There's also, I just started another playlist where someone wants to make a platformer, and it's a new YouTuber to me. He only has 96 or 86 people, and he will actually be streaming live. I don't know if I'll be awake for it, but I'm very interested in it. So that is what it is. I've been trying to be more out there with the communities, the Discords, and everything else, and it's just been a wild ride, and I've got to stop myself a little bit. Taxes are done. I've just a little extra time. I need to come back, reflect, and you know, chill out a bit before I get more done. You've been lovely. You've been amazing. If you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Put them below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. That's a thing. And check out those links on Discord. Check out those game jams. I've been rambling. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. I'm trying to press the stop button and be cool. Bye-bye.